What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? It's Friday. It's September 20th. This is not an NFL show. It is an MLB show, Ham. September baseball. October's right around the corner. We got two teams that have clinched their berth to the postseason in October. Mr. Shohei Ohtani and his company. Man, we'll talk about him in a second. But my Milwaukee Brewers were the first team to clinch that NL Central there. Punched their freaking first ticket of the majors to that postseason this season. Man, massive 12-gamer we have on tap here tonight. Lots of money to be made in these contests. Good contests across the board on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Obviously, we pay more attention to DraftKings over here. Just a little bit better contest overall in all sports. But, man, I'll bring you in. It's Friday. That video got you head bopping over there. We had a hell of an NFL season to start so far. Big week 3 ahead here. Last night's game was, well, I'm not going to talk about last night's game because it can be summarized by Jets defense, and that's about it. So, Ham, I'll bring you in, man. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, the Chalk Donkeys last night had Nades on tilt in the Discord. You love to see it. And we're heading into leaving September, and we're going to be going. Well, no, I'll take that back. It's Septani. It's Septani. Let's just change it to Septani after what he did last night. I was going to say Ohtani, but let's go Septani. Man, that was quite the performance that he had. Love seeing you tilting in the Discord on a 46% defense chalk. And looking forward to this 12-gamer. We got a couple 100Ks up top over there in the DK lobby. I was just checking out. So, yeah, some winners to be made. Looking forward to chopping it up and talking about it.
Yeah, looking forward to breaking it down. And, yeah, I mean, Ship-Tani, Ship-Tember, whatever you want to call it. Let's just call it Ship Nation. I mean, whatever you want to call it, right? Because, man, 6 for 6, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases to go with it. I mean, he broke the absolute scoring algorithm over there on FanDuel. I'm not sure what their stat creators were thinking over there on FanDuel. I mean, almost 111 points, 110.8. I mean, some of my FanDuel lineups overall never score that many points, let alone one player there. And mind you, he wasn't even 5K over there on FanDuel. So great job with the pricing algorithm over there. I mean, 23.1 X value. That's pretty decent if you ask me. And then 81 spot, the highest scoring player this year on DraftKings. And actually in quite some years. I mean, 50-50 season for that guy. 51 home runs now, 50-plus stolen bases. I mean, absolutely insane. And, hey, why are we spending so much time on Ohtani? Because guess who's back on this slate here tonight coming off of, I mean, I don't want to just call it a ceiling game. I want to call it a historic career output game overall. But, man, should be a fun little slate here tonight. Little slate, but fun slate here. I think it's a spend-up pitching night for me. And then there's probably 8 to 10 offenses that I wouldn't fault anyone for going to. We're going to do our best to break it down. I got Collins in the chat. Warren Tyler's in here. Max Manning, Taco Todd, Greg, Gang Green, always in here. Rants, Waters, Warren, everybody. What's going on, y'all? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Ham, I'm going to go ahead and throw Shiptimizer in here right here, our in-house optimizer. Do this a little bit, and we're going to go use this to break down pitching, and then I'll jump over and share the stone, give the people a little bit of a taste of the best tool in all of DFS when we talk game by game. Excuse me, but pitching, man, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I want the chat to chime in too, but I want your take. You're building the team right now. You going Shohei or the Judge? All rise.
Shohei or Judge? Why doesn't the chat throw that in there? Go ahead and have the chat throw that in there. Personally, I know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm going Shohei just because lefty. I mean, $200 more, better ballpark in LA
I
than
just mean
Oakland.
in general. I just meant in general, not for DFS. I'm just saying if you're starting a team, take DFS out of it. I saw an interesting stat today of who's had the better season. I like Judge. I'm just talking about an overall baseball player, not necessarily DFS tonight. Sorry.
I'm going Ohtani all day because guess what? He can pitch. Obviously, this year he can't pitch, right, with the injury. But next year he can pitch. He steals bases. He hits for a freaking average. He obviously has power. I mean, Judge is crazy good, right? But Judge does have a pretty high strikeout rate overall. I mean, 24% on the road. Well, what I'm seeing Ohtani. I mean, it's how much? I'll tell you what. I would be happy with either one starting a baseball team. How about we leave it at that, right? But yeah, I do think it's Ohtani, and it's not even close. Just the utility Ohtani brings. He's a starting pitcher. He can play anywhere. He's stealing bases. I mean, he hits for contact. He hits for power. He's just an overall leader on that team. I mean, historically, I think when all things are done, I mean, I think he could be the best player that we've ever seen play the game, to be honest. When his career is over, I think he could be, if not the best player, I mean, very close to the best player of all time in the history of Major League Baseball. But I saw you threw something up there from
I just saw Pete. He said, smash the dislike for no porn stash. Pojin, man, I had to go to work. I can't go to work in my porn stash. My porn career was over. Hey, I'm going to grow it back maybe next year. Stick around for NBA. Hey, but the chat's all over Ohtani. And, yeah, when you factor in the pitching, too, I guess it's a no.
Come on, Ham. Wake up, brother. I mean, wake up with that Cincinnati Reds freaking shirt on there and no porn stash, drinking a Celsius. I mean, come on, dude.
It's Friday, man.
Austin, let's go. Great name by this kid right here, Austin on the screen. I might be biased a little bit there, but man, I mean, come on, Ham. Seriously, Ohtani versus Judge. I mean, what is Judge going to do? Yeah, he's going to hit you freaking 40 home runs a season. He might strike out about 30%, but guess what? Ohtani's going to go out there and pitch every 7 days for you and hit every day as well. I mean, shit, this guy hits while he pitches. I mean, it's not even close to be honest.
What are his stats this season on pitching? Is he doing pretty good?
Oh yeah. What are Judge's stats? They're about the same, right?
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a supermodel too. I'm just not doing it this year. Like, give me Aaron Judge. I think the chat's got it wrong. I'm taking Judge over Ohtani.
Come on, chat. I'm on the chat side here. Get Ham out of here, man. It's Nades is riding with the chat today. I'll tell you that right now.
50th home run ball. I saw the guy ran out of the stadium with that. I wonder what the offer was. Somebody there, my guy. Hi knows what's up. I don't know who that is. That might be my burner account.
Yeah. Ham's got his freaking third phone over there on in the YouTube chat. But yeah, nah. Overall, I don't think either you could go wrong with either, but I'm taking Ohtani every day and twice on a Friday when Ham's asking the question. I'll tell you that right now.
Another day that ends in wild. Let's go, baby.
All right, let's go. Let's talk pitching, man. And I alluded to it. It's a spend-up pitching slate for me. I mean, we're going to go 8K and above, and you see here there's quite a few guys above 8K, quite a few guys above 9K. I think majority, if not all of these guys, are in play. I mean, don't have a ton of interest in Warrob, actually zero interest in him, really. David Peterson, not really. Colin Ray, not really. But, I mean, everybody else in this range, I definitely have some interest in, outside of maybe David Festa. But Jacob deGrom, I think, is an interesting play here tonight. I think we see somewhere from 75 to 80 pitches, roughly. Gets a very, very nice strikeout matchup against Seattle. And, hey, his first start back, he had about a 15% swing and strike rate, which is huge. Obviously, his strikeout upside is massive there. So I don't mind him at 8-1 as a tournament play. Michael Wacha, I really like him a ton. Gets one of the best matchups here with these Giants, despite what we've seen as of late. It's this Giants matchup just prints fantasy points to opposing starting pitchers here. I like Kansas City's offense a lot here tonight too. So I really like Waka down there at the bottom, but I want you to break down this top range, Ham, because you got Joe Musgrave here, Garrett Cole at 9K and 9,100. And then up at the top, you got Corbin Burns, highest priced guy on the slate, gets this matchup against the Tigers at home. Zach Gallen gets a tough road matchup here, I think, against this Milwaukee Brewers team. They did clinch, obviously, so might see a little bit overall weaker lineup, but I still think they're gas on the floor, right? I mean, they're gonna go pedal to the metal, I think, for at least the next week or so, week and a half. But break down this range. It's a very loaded range, and I'm trying to get two of these guys in my teams. I don't really like the cheap range here tonight too much.
Yeah, I actually like this pitching slate a lot. My favorite of the bunch is going to be Garrett Cole. Gets to take on this Oakland team in the Coliseum, where we like to pitch. It's getting colder. It's hot in a lot of places, but at night, over there in Oakland should get down to the 60s to 70s. So give me Garrett Cole would be my favorite of the bunch up in this range, and he's only at 9K on DK. Really like that price. Joe Musgrove obviously gets the nut matchup tonight, going up against this White Sox team. Hey, we've been joking about it for about a month now. They're about 10 days away from getting those golf clubs and headed down to Cabo. And Musgrove's coming off a 31 burger against San Fran. So I like Musgrove as well up in this range. I also really like Charlie Morton for a variety of reasons. A, you're facing a team that just gave up 17, 18 runs, 6 for 6 to Ohtani, which is just embarrassing. And Charlie Morton, 3 straight games of 20-plus DK points. It's a must-win game from them. It's in a great pitcher's ballpark. So I really like Charlie Morton down there. You said Jacob deGrom as well. Jacob deGrom threw 61 pitches a week ago. His price goes down $400, and he gets a nut matchup, as you said, going against this Mariners team that's not very good. If we can get 70-plus pitches, 70 to 80 pitches from deGrom, I think he can get 15, 16, 17 points. That's kind of going to do it for me up in this range. I mean, if you wanted to play Burns, Gallen, Kirby, certainly you can play any of those guys, but just my favorite are those 4 that I mentioned. No interest in Scott Peterson taking on the Phillies and any of those other guys in there as well. But those are the 4 that I'm going to be focusing on today.
Yeah, I'm with you. Great breakdown. We're pretty aligned in this range. I'll start with Corbin Burns just because he's the most expensive guy. I think he's the safe option, if you will, right? Nobody's safe in baseball, especially in MLB DFS, especially at 9,700. But I just don't think he has the upside ceiling that we've seen of Corbin Burns in years past, right, on Milwaukee. His strikeout stuff is decent. It's nothing crazy. About a 23% strikeout rate at home, which is right around league average. This Tigers team doesn't strike out a ton. I just don't think the upside is there on a 12-game slate for Corbin Burns. If you want him to get 18 to 20, I think that's fine. But I don't see a 30-plus DK game output by Corbin Burns on the slate where I could see that from a guy like Charlie Morton, a guy like Garrett Cole. I could see that from a guy like Michael Walker in that matchup where, right, you just talked about that last matchup for Joe Musgrove. Guess what? He posted a 30-burger. Guess who it was against? That San Francisco Giants team. So I like those guys quite a bit. I'm not going to really mess with Zach Gallen at that price point. It's not because it's a homer take against the Milwaukee Brewers. They just steal bases. They do have some strikeout upside throughout the middle of that lineup. If the lineup does stay the same, I mean, Garrett Mitchell strikes out a decent amount. Jake Bowers, Hoskins, overall about a 25% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. I just like other guys more. I like Charlie Morton much more for $800 cheaper. Really like him a ton. And then I really like Waka a ton. My favorite pairing is probably Charlie Morton and Michael Waka. I'm not really worried about ownership too much on this slate. It's a 12-game slate. There's 8 to 10 teams that people want to play in terms of offenses. There's, 8 pitchers that you could easily play on this slate. So I think ownership spreads enough. It's not like we have a 40, 50% owned pitcher coming in. So I really like that pairing quite a bit. That's going to be my favorite 2 guys is Charlie Morton and Michael Waka. I do think Jacob deGrom's a good tournament play here because, like I said, 15% swing and strike rate in that first start. Only threw 61 pitches. I expect 75 to 80 pitches here. Texas has to win some of these games. This is a good strikeout matchup here. He's at home. And he had a 4 strikeout, 0 walk performance in 61 pitches. So he was efficient, wasn't walking guys, wasn't struggling with command. I do think at 8,100, I mean, man, despite the injury and despite him returning back from injury, I mean, last season, Ham, if you seen Jacob deGrom at 8,100, he'd be 100% owned, especially in this matchup against Seattle. I just don't think people go to there because there is still some uncertainty. So those are kind of the guys that I'm looking at here. Really no interest in Kirby, Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns at the top. Really like Musgrave a lot. He's my favorite above 9K, followed by Garrett Cole. I just don't like picking on Oakland right now. They have a lot of power. Cole does have the strikeout stuff. It is a good ballpark there. But, I mean, you look at Oakland's numbers, they just don't strike out a ton against right-handed pitching at home. I mean, below 24% as a team, and they got a team ISO over 180. So they do have some power concerns there. Overall, Garrett Cole's been known to give up the long ball. I mean, Lawrence Butler's red hot right now. Brent Rooker's red hot right now. I just like Joe Musgrave a lot more at that price point. So for me, this top tier is Charlie Morton, Waka, Joe Musgrove, and my fourth would be Jacob deGrom in tournaments. Really no interest in any of these other guys. Don't want to pick on the Mets right now. And don't want to mess with Robsky out there, or however you pronounce it for LA. Go ahead and rank your top tier here because I do think this is an interesting starting point, and majority of the teams should have probably two of these guys in your lineup, to be honest. What a donkey. First he comes on saying Aaron Judge is freaking better than Ohtani, and then he sits here and talks on mute. I should have just said, yeah, I agree. I mean, what a rough start for him.
The mute donkey over here talking. I lost my train of thought, but I don't know if you said this. I don't think you did. I mean, anything below 8K is just, and then now we've lost him. Anything below 8K is just so shitty, man. It's so bad. Are we going to touch on those guys, or you may just rank my top four?
Yeah, we're going to go below 8K and see if we can pull any guys out. But rank this top tier because, like I said, my teams are going to have two of these guys for sure. I'm assuming your teams are. In MME, you might want to expand out a little bit. But, I mean, majority of the people watching are probably interested in this top tier. At least they should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Garrett Cole and Musgrove on DK if I can get that. And then on FanDuel, it would be one of those two. As well. So I know my guy Aaron's in the chat listening, and we always play head-to-head. So, Aaron, I'm playing Musgrove or Garrett over there on FanDuel, and then if I can pair Musgrove on and Garrett on DK, I do that as well. So those would be 1, 2, and then Charlie Morton would be 3. And then, yeah, you said deGrom, great tournament play. I agree with you there. I think he's got some upside, has upside to get, 15-plus points tonight.
Excellent breakdown there. Let's jump below 8K, and you mentioned it. It drops off quick. One guy I do want to call out for you, the only guy, probably one of the most popular options on this slate is going to be Justin Verlander because of that matchup against the Angels. He's not for me. I mean, he's $200 cheaper than Festa, $300 cheaper than deGrom. I mean, $400 cheaper than Waka. I have much more interest in deGrom and Waka. Justin Verlander is really the only guy down here that's worth talking about, at least from an ownership standpoint and people that plays that people want to go to. I mean, maybe a Tyler Anderson, something like that. But, I mean, like I said, I'm not getting down here. Justin Verlander, I think, is fine, but I'm not going to get to him at all, despite the matchup here against the Angels.
Yeah, it's he would be the one, and like you said, I mean, he's going to be everybody's one down there in that range. I mean, no Garrett Crochet. I mean, I don't even know why they trot him out there for 50 pitches. It's good pitcher, bad spot to be in. I mean, just looking, you got Ted Ginn Jr. down there, 7,000. No, thank you. I don't see how you can play any of these guys realistically. Verlander, Gibson, maybe Tyler Anderson, but man, it gets rough after you get below deGrom, in my opinion.
I mean, I just can't expect. I just can't believe Verlander at 7,800 is going to be 25-30% owned on this slate against a team that has a ton of power. Yeah, they have strikeouts, but I mean, look at Verlander's stuff. He's got a 14% strikeout rate at home this season for Houston. I mean, I'm just not doing it. So yeah, for me, it's the top tier. I already ranked him. Ham already ranked his. Long story short, stick to the top tier above 8K. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the 6 guys that we really talked about a lot, to be honest. But that brings us to the bats. I mean, obviously, if the pitching is weak at the low tier, you got a lot of bats you want to play to, at least that are in decent spots here. I'm got the stone up on the screen here for everybody. And Ham, let's start and talk through this slate. Obviously, you can see some of these lineups. Most of them are not in here. When they do, they go to confirm. So we're okay showing this off, showing a little bit of the tools over here at SHIPIT Nation. We have a stone available for every sport, as you can see here. MLB, PGA, we got it for Showdown, NFL Showdown, PGA Showdown, MMA, college football. NBA has a stone coming. NHL also has a stone coming, which NHL, hey, starting up here pretty quick. NASCAR has a stone. The best tool in all of DFS. I mean, this is just a one-stop shop for everything. You can grab your starting pitcher information here. Obviously, the hitters, we talk about this on each of our shows, Ham. We use this as basically the Bible when looking through and building teams. We've got our hitter rankings over here on the far right, along with our pitcher rankings down here on the far right. I mean, literally a one-stop shop with color coding. But let's talk about it here. Baltimore and the Tigers, Brant Herter on the mound here. Corbin Burns on the hill. Baltimore, anytime Baltimore's on the slate, they have the tendency to be viable for tournaments in terms of stack. I'm not very interested in these guys at these prices here tonight, despite their high implied run total right around 5 runs. I just like other spots more. I think Orioles are one of those 8 to 10 teams that I talked about earlier off the top you could stack. For me, I'm looking at other spots, especially at these kind of price points, but they do have some value bats in here. What's your thoughts in Detroit and Baltimore here?
Yeah, I don't mind some of the lefty power for the Detroit as a one-off. It would only be a one-off. I wouldn't stack them if you're going to go home run hunting with Meadows, Green, or Kerry Carpenter. One of those three, Carpenter being my favorite of the bunch. And then, man, this Orioles team, they've just been struggling so much. You can stack them. They have almost a 5 implied run total. I'll probably be lower on them than most. Austin Slater's going to get pitch hit for me. That's a cash game play right there if he's batting leadoff, 2,400 on both sides. But I think I'm passing on the Orioles, Nades. Maybe risky, but I think that's the way to go tonight.
Yeah, we're in lockstep. This is a cross-off game for me. Kind of overall, I don't have much interest in Burns. I don't have much interest in any of these hitters. I mean, I will bring up one guy. Obviously, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, I think are fine. Matt Vierling has been playing hell out of his mind right now late. So I don't mind some of these guys, some of these value guys, Jace Young, right? Trey Sweeney in here. You can see the good guys to play. I really like Trey Sweeney at 3K. I mean, 27 plate appearances on the road. It is a good, decent hitting park there in Baltimore. It's decent hitting weather overall as well there. He's just 3K at a shortstop position, has a ton of power against right-handed pitching. A little bit of leverage off of Corbin Burns as well. As you see, right, Corbin Burns projected to be right around 20% ownership. I don't mind some of that. So I don't mind some of these value guys from the Tigers. That would be my interest more. Don't really want to mess with these Orioles too much. So we're in lockstep there. Jumping to the next game on the slate here, a game that I do have interest in. We just saw this park go absolutely bonkers, right? Obviously, the Dodgers had no problem scoring runs here in Miami. It's probably credit due to this pitching staff here in Miami, which is not very good. And you get another not very good pitcher overall on the slate. I mean, he's one of the worst. I mean, I put him up in contention against the guy we're going to talk about a little bit later when we get to the Royals game. I'd say he's probably the second worst pitcher on the slate. These Braves, full 9 inning at-bats. Ballpark's not great, but hey, Dodgers had no problem scoring runs here. The Braves should get Ozzie Albies back as well here tonight. Should give a boost to this lineup. Laureano's absolutely on fire right now. The Braves just went nuclear yesterday. I mean, they're starting to turn it on because, hey, guess what? October's right around the corner. Braves are starting to get healthy. Michael Harris is on fire. Braves are one of my favorite, if not my favorite stack of the night. I mean, they're top 3 for sure for me, but I'll throw it over to you. Where are you going here, Braves and the Marlins?
Yeah, with you as well. We're in lockstep again. Braves will be my favorite stack of the night. They're facing some guy, Pelosio, Valerie, whatever his name is. Not very good. That's all I know. Hopefully there's another position player thrown in the ninth today. Braves are in playoff mode, Nate. These are playoff games for the Braves. They scored, 15 yesterday? Hopefully they can get there again today because I will be playing them. You can see they're littered with green up and down FanDuel and DraftKings projection. They're going to be popular, so you're going to want to get some of the guys down there in the bottom half of the lineup. But, yeah, my favorite play. And then no Marlins for me. I have some interest in Charlie Morton.
Yeah, I like Morton. No Marlins for me, but I do like the Braves quite a bit here. Again, ownership doesn't really matter a ton. I mean, you got a couple guys projected over 10%, but you're not seeing any 20, 15, 20% guys, which starts to get kind of in the territory on a baseball, especially a 12-game slate that I kind of tend to worry about it. I'm not worried about ownership here, so I love the Braves a ton here. Probably my second favorite stack against a guy that just has sub 16% strikeout rate to both sides of the plate. It's even worse at home here. You see 14.7%, gets hit pretty hard. Usually you see a lot of red under the pitcher here, and you see a lot of green as the hitters. It's a pretty good spot to target for DFS. Jump into the next game here, another game that I have interest in on one side in particular here. But, man, the Red Sox still have a pretty good implied run total here. David Festa has some strikeout stuff, but, again, he's not a Cy Young by any means. I like these Twins quite a bit, especially at these salaries. I mean, look at these salaries for the Twins. They're very affordable here. They're all projected to be sub 10% owned here. Twins, I mean, ownership and salary concerned, I mean, they're another top 3 stack for me here. Guaranteed full 9 at-bats in Fenway as well. I love the spot for Minnesota here.
Good old Dick Fitz on the bump today for the Red Sox. Got to love that. Oh, Dickie Fitz. But the Twins gonna be. I like them to score some runs tonight as well. Hey, I actually don't mind this Red Sox team, especially Devers up there during the All-Star. I don't hate these Red Sox. That's kind of, I don't know if they're going to be sneaky or not. And they have a 4.5 implied run total, but I like the Red Sox. I like the Twins. I like this game. I don't think you call it shootout in MLB, but I like this game to go over the posted total on both sides to put up some runs and some home runs in this one.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Festa's numbers over the last month, I don't really want to attack a guy that's got a 30% strikeout rate to both sides of the plate. I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher, so if I were to go to anyone on the Red Sox side, it would be probably like a Weiler Abreu or a Devers, just fly ball guys. But, yeah, I'm not getting too – I just think there's much better spots than to go to these Red Sox and pay these kind of prices against a pretty quality arm. But they will be low owned for sure. Nobody's going to play these guys really, and I mean, they can steal bases as well and hit bounds, which is kind of what you want. So, yeah, not a spot for me, but I don't hate it. Vegas basically has it as a pick 'em, as you see here, minus 108, minus 112. Both good implied run totals, good hitting ballpark. And like I said, Festa can give up some home runs more to the righties than the lefties personally, from what I'm seeing. But let's jump to the next game here. Phillies and the Mets. David Peterson on the mound. Christopher Sanchez and our guy in the chat here, Devin Davis. Any interest in Sanchez? Devin, I left your comment here because I knew we were getting to this game next. But, Ham, first of all, hit on his thoughts on any Christopher Sanchez. It's not for me going against this Mets team that just absolutely murders the baseball right now. Alonso hit a bomb last night. Nemo hit a bomb. Vientos hit a bomb. This team is just red hot from the bats. As you can see here, tons of green. Very, very low strikeout rate overall against a guy that just struggles on the road in general. This is a game that I'm not on too much from bats perspective at these price points. I just like other offenses more. But, I mean, you can always play my boy Mark Vientos. I'll continue to victory lap that. I mean, I was talking up Mark Vientos when he was, 2,300, 2,500 on DraftKings. Now he's 4,600. So talk to me. Any Phillies interest for you? Any Mets? Two high-powered offenses that – going to be overall very low owned here, but just not a great ballpark here for hitting.
Yeah, I think I feel like the Mets haven't lost in a month, and Christopher Sanchez though has been pretty good, been pretty solid all season long for the most part. Last 5 starts been very good, and ground ball pitcher, extreme ground ball pitcher. I mean, Vientos, Alonso. If you wanted to get a mini, but I don't think it's for me, Nades. I think there's better spots and better pitchers to pick on than Peterson and Sanchez. I'm with you. I'll be off this game, not even as a one-off.
Yeah, I just don't like this game. I mean, you alluded to it, right? Sanchez, 60% ground ball rate. I mean, yeah, you can get there, but man, you're just really hoping for lightning in a bottle, I think, when you're stacking against a ground ball pitcher, because guess what? One guy gets on, gets walked, something like that. I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, 60+% of the time he's keeping the ball on the ground from these hitters. I mean, it is Major League Baseball at the end of the day. These guys are all Major League hitters, obviously, and I mean, anything can happen. But it's a spot for me where I'm just going to fade it, man, and just hope this game plays kind of that under 7.5, right around that total. And at these price points on a 12-game slate, I just don't think it's a spot that I want to attack too much for me. That brings us to the next game, another spot where pretty similar to the last game. This is another game, very low total here. I mean, pretty gross spot. I talked about Jacob deGrom in terms of pitching. I think he's an interesting option against this high strikeout rate of Seattle. Seattle also doesn't have a ton of power on the road, as you can see here. I like the spot for deGrom. That's pretty much it for me in this game. I'm not getting to really any of these Rangers, any of these Mariners bats. deGrom or pass for me in this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby's not a gas can by any stretch. Good pitcher. I think this ballpark's bad, a bad ballpark. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but deGrom, I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, I think he is if you're playing 5+ teams, I think you can get to deGrom. He's just so risky, in my opinion, in terms of his pitch count, but he also has extreme upside, as you see there. We have him projected pretty good on our site. I don't hate him in GPP stacks, but yeah, definitely no bats for me. Good call on that. We agree.
Yeah, we agree. Perfect. That takes us to the next game here. The Angels and the Astros. Angels have, I think, one of the lowest implied run totals on the slate, which, yeah, they strike out a ton, but they also have a ton of power, as you can see here. And many of these guys have a lot of power. I mean, anything over 200 ISO is pretty damn good, especially when you're looking at this kind of a sample size with 200, 170 plus at bats. Obviously, got some guys down here with limited sample size, but I mean, a chalky or Justin Verlander here from what I'm seeing, nobody's going to play these Angels, I don't think, at all. And looking at the last 30-day numbers for Verlander, let me just read this out for you. 13% strikeout rate to both sides of the plate. An opposing ISO much more to lefties, so he gives up a lot more power to lefties, but he walks right around 10% of right-handed hitters, which can go south fast. And, I mean, he's a fly ball guy. And these Angels, I mean, they're all fly ball hitters. Look at over the current season, Nico Cavadas might be one of the best value plays on the entire slate. I mean, he's got almost a 60% fly ball rate over the course of the season in 76 plate appearances. Taylor Ward's massive fly ball guy. Eric Wegman is a massive fly ball guy. Mickey Moniak, who I like a lot as a nice fly ball value guy there. I mean, I think this is a nice little hedge spot. All but 2 hitters in this lineup are all right around 30% or higher in terms of fly ball rates. Verlander, man, he looks like blood red over the last month. Sharks like to eat some blood in the water, and hey, maybe the Angels are looking out over those Sharks and keeping them fed, man. What do you think here tonight, the Angels and the Astros?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to get different. They're all going to be sub 5% owned, I would think, if you want to do like an Angel stack. We actually love Verlander over here. I mean, our projections, when you click the optimize over on Shiptimizer, it spits out Verlander on both sites. So we like him over here. I'll have to do some more digging. He's been so bad, including a negative 15-point game just 2 outings ago. And didn't he face this Angels team his last time out too? And I think he got around 10 points or so. But I mean, another 5+ team GPP. I think an Angels stack or mini stack is okay. And then those Astros, they look at those Astros. They profile pretty well too against the lefty Tyler Anderson, who is not has had a pretty decent season, but this Astros team at home versus lefties this season, you can see it. They fared pretty well, Nate. So I do have a little bit of interest in maybe a mini on the Astros side.
Yeah, I'm much more interested in the Angels. So we differ a little bit here. I'm not going to get to these Astros really, despite their 5.7 implied run total. I just like other teams more at similar price points. I mean, the guys you want to play are all expensive here, right? Altuve is over 5K. Alvarez is almost 6K. Yainer Diaz is over 4K as a catcher. Bregman's 4,500. Kyle Tucker. I mean, even Jeremy Pena. The only guys that are cheap that I do think get pretty popular is Caratini. I think he's a decent play. Jake Myers, but expect them to be pretty popular, as you can see here, right? Caratini's projected for almost 20% ownership. This whole team is going to be very owned. This team is going to be much more popular than the teams we talked about earlier when we were talking about the Braves. I'll take the Braves any day, twice on a Friday, another day ending in Y. Give me Atlanta here, much better over the Astros here. I just don't like it. I mean, Tyler Anderson can keep the ball on the ground. I mean, he's still over a 45% fly or ground ball rate pitcher. I just don't love it. I like these Angels quite a bit here. I'm not going to full 5-man stack the Angels in my 3-max stuff or single entries, but in tournaments for sure, I would keep a 5-man Angel stack in your pool. I like the mini stack a lot. Prefer the lefties, Nolan Shano, Mickey Moniak, and Nico Cavadas, and then the righties would be the main fly ball guys, Taylor Ward, Eric Wegman. For me are my 2 favorite righties. But yeah, I like this team quite a bit. Logan O'Hoppe is 3,600. You want to talk about a nice pivot off a chalkier Yainer Diaz? Just go down and save a little bit of money and just go right to Logan O'Hoppe on the other side of that game. So I like these Angels. Could be a crazy spot, but man, I focus on numbers here. I focus on a team that's not going to get ownership. Angels don't have anything to play for, so these young kids are going out there and just playing the game, man. And that's what I like to see, especially when you get full 9-inning at bats. Let's jump to the next game here. You talk about a team that I have more interest in than the Astros for a similar price point and a pricing structure is right here in this game. It's not the Brewers, it's the D-backs, the red-hot D-backs right now. Colin Ray has been a good real-life pitcher, but he can get blown up. We've seen it. He's had 4 or 5 starts this season where he's absolutely gotten shellacked. He struggles a ton to lefties, and guess what? D-backs are rolling out some pretty damn good left-handed hitters. Kettle Marte, Corbin Carroll, who's on fire right now, Josh Bell. And then wrap it around. I mean, you want to talk about a wrap-around, reach-around stack. Give me McCarthy, Perdomo, wrap it around to the top, Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Josh Bell. All lefties. You want to attack the splits, Colin Ray. I think this is an interesting spot. D-backs are probably my favorite stack for the salary at the top tier, even ahead of the Dodgers, even ahead of the Yankees here tonight.
Oh, wow. You like them that much, huh? So I don't know. I mean, I actually kind of like Colin Ray just a teeny tiny bit, but interested to hear that you like the D-backs. Should be a good real life game. I think the D-backs are in win now mode too, right? So should be a good close game. First game of the series, I believe, unless they played last night. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to any bats in this one's Nades. Both pitchers, good real life pitchers. And I'm going to focus tonight on just picking on bad pitchers that are in bad spots. So that's kind of where I'm standing on this one.
Yeah, I will say Colin Ray has definitely fallen off over the last couple starts. I mean, his last 4 starts, he hasn't gone past 4 innings and struggles big time to lefties. Like I said, almost a 200 ISO allowed to lefties, low strikeout rate as well to left-handed hitters. So I'm just playing the numbers game in a low-owned team that has full 9 inning at bats and a pretty decent hitting park there in Miller Park. So I like it. Snakes also steal bases here. Maybe it's a little slithery snake type night here tonight as I'm driving past Milwaukee, watching hopefully balls fly out to the interstate there. But no, I'm kidding. That roof is likely closed there in Milwaukee. But yeah, I like the spot quite a bit here as a contrarian tournament spot. You see, all these guys are sub 5% owned, which I like a ton. Anytime you can get a team that is gunning to they're in a tight race, right, with the Padres there and the Dodgers. I mean, I think this team is pretty good here tonight.
Power thinks we're going to put a 9-burger on them. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't think so.
Yeah, let's go Power. See, Power gets it. I mean, I really, really, really like that 8-9-1-2-3 stack. I'm going to tell you right now. And then you can obviously always add in the right-handed power of Christian Walker, Randall Grichuk. I mean, Eugenio Suarez, who's playing good right now. Moreno as a nice low-owned catcher who has power, puts the ball in play. I mean, that's what you want against the team, a guy that just kind of throws strikes there. I mean, look at Colin Ray. Doesn't really get a lot of swing and misses, right around 21% strikeout rate. I mean, this team doesn't strike out. They put the ball in play. They steal bases. I mean, this thing is it's a pretty good spot here tonight, Ham. And nobody's going to play it. They're very low owned here tonight.
Aaron wants to know why it's always closed. And I would just say the people of Wisconsin, they don't know what they're doing up there. Not a very high IQ up there in Wisconsin, so they just close it for just random reasons. So
I don't know why they closed it. It's 82 degrees and humid here all week. I mean, all week. I get it. Usually September in Wisconsin, I'm wearing a snowsuit outside when I'm on the golf course. But, man, I've been sweating through my golf gloves in the morning at freaking 7 a.m. tee time. And, yeah, they'll probably have that damn roof closed again here tonight. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a pit stop and talk to the front office there and the facilities coordinator down there at the stadium and see if we can get that roof open and get some more home runs going tonight here in that stadium. But let's jump to the next game. We got a couple games left. We're jumping to the 8:10, 7:10 Eastern time window here. We're going to probably the best hitting conditions on the slate, if not I mean, it's up there for sure. It's a great hitting park here, and the Royals get a character that struggles with fly balls, struggles with home runs, and he's allowed at least one home run in each of his last 7 starts here. Man, Kansas City going to be pretty low, not pretty low owned, excuse me. They're going to be probably the chalkiest team on the slate for sure, but you can always get different playing the back half of this lineup like I talk about all the time here. I mean, Yuli Gurriel is very, very cheap. I mean, he's coming over. Adam Frazier, Isbell, MJ Melendez. I mean, this team is going to be popular due to their salaries, but man, it's hard to ignore. I like this team a ton. Mason Black, like I said, 7 straight games with at least 1 home run given up here. I mean, bet your home run parlay overs here for some of these Kansas City Royals. Bobby Witt, Bobby Slam, Salvador Perez, MJ Melendez, Hunter Renfroe, Massey. I mean, 1 through 9, I love them. And then the Giants, no interest for me in the Giants against Waka Flocka Flame. I think he's a pretty good play from a pitching aspect.
Yeah, just looking at the stone. I mean, Conforto does look nice. So if you wanted a one-off, I don't hate that batting cleanup for the Giants. And then I'm with you, Nades. It's a Braves Royals type of night for me. They look great up and down the lineup. For sure. So don't mind those Royals. We love this park. We love picking on bad pitchers. This is one that I alluded to. So give me some Royals. I think you can go 5-man on DK, 4-man on FanDuel for sure. They'll be popular, but for good reason. They should perform well tonight.
All right. Well, I just went to the roof status report for American Family Field, and why it'd just be too easy to put the damn status online. But no, it says here, for the status, call this damn hotline. So if somebody in the chat wants to give that little hotline a call and see what the status is, that'd be great. I can't do it obviously when we're on the show, but I did post that in the chat for the people if they want to know if that roof is open there in AmFam Field. But yeah, I'm with you. I love the Royals. Royals probably my favorite stack. I do like the Twins and the Braves more, I think, when you consider ownership. But man, it's 1A, 1B, 1C for me between those 3 teams. I like the Royals a ton here. And then, yeah, no Giants interest for me against Waka. Couple games, 4 games left to talk about here. We're jumping to the 8:15 game, 5 minutes after that last game we talked about here. Ben Lively, Kyle Gibson on the hill here. Game that I just don't have much interest in. I mean, maybe the Guardians against Gibson. I just don't think he's a great pitcher. Ben Lively is a decent pitcher. I mean, I wouldn't hate Ben Lively as a cheap punt guy, but probably not a spot where I'm going to get to him. I mean, Cardinals, maybe. They got some good numbers here. Lars Nootbaar, right? Goldschmidt, Mason Wynn has been playing great right now. It's a game where, I mean, falls in the category of that 8 to 10 team stack that I talked about. I think you could stack either of these sides. But for me, it's just not a spot that I have on my priority list. But where are you going here?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Don't like stacking in this park. I think the Guardians, they clinched last night, right? I think they clinched their berth as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, no, I think I'm going to pass on this one. I don't like it. I don't like that stadium, and both have good bullpens in my opinion. So yeah, no, thank you for me.
Yeah, Cleveland has one of the best bullpens in baseball, so not a spot that I'm going to get to any Cardinals. If I did pick a spot, it would be on the Cleveland side, but they just don't hit enough home runs for me, as you can see here. Blood red in the home run category. I do want to bring up one guy, Kyle Manzardo here, as a value guy. I like Nico Cavadas way more for the Angels in a similar spot for $100 cheaper. I mean, he's going to have no ownership. Manzardo's actually going to get some ownership, I think. Hit a home run yesterday. Our guy BJ was in the chat and had him in his core on the early slate. He got the job done. But, yeah, I mean, I did want to mention him because he is a solid value play here. But I like Nico Cavadas way more at a similar price point for cheaper in a better spot, in my opinion, here. Jumping to the next game here, White Sox, man, this team is absolutely atrocious. But you do have Garrett Crochet on the mound. He's only going to go probably 50, 60 pitches. He has given up some home runs over, like I said, the last month and a half or so when he's been out there starting and pitching 4 innings. And then you got a absolutely horrendous bullpen behind him, one of the worst in baseball, right there with the Rockies. These Padres, man, you talk about a team that's coming down the stretch. They're right there neck and neck with that race with the D-backs, right? Dodgers obviously clinched, but guess what? Them and the D-backs are fighting it out here. Padres look pretty good to me. They're going to be pretty low owned overall, as you can see, due to their salaries for the most part. But this is another sneaky spot for a high-powered offense that can definitely get the job done. And Garrett Crochet is not the same guy that we were playing at the beginning of the year, obviously because he's on no good franchise over there in Chicago. So they're just trotting him out there to keep his arm from falling off, I think.
Yeah, the thing with this, Crochet, well, first off, no White Sox for me. Tons of interest in Musgrove. And then on the flip side, I do love the Padres tonight. I don't think they'll come in as highly owned as some of these other teams, but the thing with Crochet is a big-time strikeout pitcher, and this Padres team just refuses to strike out at home versus lefties. They just don't strike out a ton. They're going to put the ball in play a ton tonight. White Sox have one of the worst defenses. They don't really hit the long ball, so it's more of a small ball type game. But when Crochet goes out in the third or fourth inning, you're going to get the worst bullpen in maybe Major League history behind them. So you're going to get 4 to 5 innings of that White Sox bullpen. I really like this Padres team tonight, Nades. I think they're super sneaky. I think they can put up double-digit runs and really beat up this White Sox team tonight. I got the Padres top 3 for sure.
Yeah, excellent take. It's just so hard for me to narrow. There's so many good spots, but yeah, I mean, I love you. I'm right there with the Padres. They probably cracked my top 5, to be honest. Just looking at this ownership here, like I said, Crochet can still give up the home runs. I mean, and there is guys on this Padres team that launched the long ball, right? I mean, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, Tatis is back there. Solano is a lefty masher. He's just 2.4K. I mean, this is a pretty good spot here. Kyle Higashioka, another lefty masher, especially at home. Yeah, it's an interesting spot. I don't have really much more to add. Implied to score over 5 runs. I don't love the ballpark a ton here in San Diego compared to the other spots, but, I mean, ownership is also accounting for that too. So, pretty good spot in tournaments, I think, for the Padres. 2 games left to talk about here, and this next game is kind of interesting here. It is actually decent hitting weather tonight in Oakland, which is kind of crazy to say, but the ballpark still sucks overall compared to the other ballparks. The wind is blowing out there, but, man, it is 65 degrees. If there wasn't any wind blowing out, I think it'd be even worse, but, I mean, Yankees can hit it out of any stadium, right? Juan Soto, I don't know if he'll be in here after running into that wall last night. In his game, he's projected, but I don't know if he's going to make it into this game, into this lineup. We'll have to see once it comes out. But Aaron Judge, right, your boy Toy, your ceiling poster guy, he said, fuck Ohtani, I'm taking Judge. Are you going to play Judge here tonight at 6,900? And then any of these other Yankees, and then any Athletics against Garrett Cole, who can struggle with the home run. I mean, Rooker, Lawrence Butler, Shea Langeliers, those guys are murdering the baseball right now.
Yeah, me and my guy, Aaron Judge, going back home. RIP to my boy Sean V, but he would be in the chat right now telling me that Judge is going back to Cali, going to hit a double dong. So don't hate the Yankees. They would, they'd probably make the top 5 or 6. Okay with the mini. I did not see Soto run into the wall last night, Nades. I want to check that out, but hopefully he's okay. I do like Garrett Cole tonight against this Athletics team. I know you've been banging the drum on the Athletics all season, and they've won about, 60 games. So hasn't worked out for him too much this year. Garrett's going to be in playoff form, kind of mow this team down. Give me a Yankees mini and give me Garrett, and then no Athletics tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not banging on the drum for Oakland to win the game. I'm playing daily fantasy sports here, and it's always a leverage spot. I mean, these guys hit home runs. I haven't looked at the numbers where they stand in terms of home runs, but, I mean, Shea Langeliers just hit a double dong the other night. Rooker's been on fire. Lawrence Butler's keep murdering baseballs. I mean, those 3 guys, I think you can play those guys just about any night, especially against a guy, Garrett Cole, who, yes, probably going to strike out 6 to 8 of these guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gives us up a home run or 2 here tonight. So I don't hate
Athletics or Angels?
Angels for sure.
Angels for sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'd much rather play the Angels against Verlander. I just think Verlander at this point of his career is a much better pitcher to pick on than Garrett Cole still. But Garrett Cole, I mean, has always been known to give up a home run or 2. So I don't hate it.
We saw those 40-year-olds last night balling out of control on Thursday Night Football. Hey, it might be the week of the 40-years, Nades. You'll be hearing about
Aaron Rodgers, dusty-ass Rodgers last night was looking like he was in his prime when he was winning Super Bowls. I mean, I shouldn't say Super Bowls. I should say Super Bowl. there, not plural, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was him or if that was just the Swiss cheese defense that he was playing against in the Patriots. I mean, that was just a brutal game. Don't bring it back up. But yeah, the Yankees for me, I think they're fine. I put the Padres ahead of them. I just don't love the salaries. I mean, Jazz Chisholm's over $5K, Stanton, Wells, Judge, Soto. These guys are expensive, and you want to play up for pitching. It gets tough to stack up this team with expensive pitching. I do say Jason Dominguez is probably my favorite guy, a lefty here. Just a very, very good prospect, right? He was highly touted. I think he was the number one prospect in all of baseball. Had a home run 2 games ago or whatever when he his second game up. I think that he got called back up. He hit a bomb. I don't hate him at 3,400, but yeah, I'm not going to have any Yankee stacks here tonight for sure. I'll tell you that. Jumping to the last game here, 10-10, 9-10 start time. Rockies, Dodgers. Kyle Freeland, who has been way worse on the road, much like we saw last year. Free money Freeland at home in Coors Field. When you leave Coors Field, Freeland doesn't know how to pitch. Tough spot here, tough matchup. Dodgers did clinch last night, their playoff berth. But, I mean, are you going back to the well with Ohtani? I think it's another category where anytime Ohtani's on the slate, obviously you can play him. I don't like chasing guys that have come off a historic career game like an Ohtani last night, right? 6 for 6, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs. But, man, it's hard to ignore that. I mean, it's a good spot, but there's another team where they're super expensive outside Kiki Hernandez, G. Risen's boy. So maybe you got to tag G. Risen in the chat if he's on Kiki, Do You Love Me at 2,400, who also hit a bomb last night, I believe. Talk to me. Any Dodgers late night hammer for you Friday night? Oh, my God. At least we're talking baseball. I mean, shit, it's an 0-2 count right now for Hamich. Is he going to hit the next pitch, or is he going to
man. Hey, I'm glad this show's almost over. I've seen better days in this, but, man, that was brutal. I'm not picking on Freeland tonight. Not after the Yankees or the Dodgers. I can't even pronounce them. None of the Dodgers put up 15 last night. They drank champagne from Miami all the way back to L.A. on that private jet last night. No Dodgers for me. No Rockies for me. Worst offense I've seen in quite some time. I don't think they do it, Nades. I'm going to pass on this game. I'm going to pick on other teams for certain.
Yeah, if I went to the Dodgers, it'd be more of a mini stack. I just don't like these price points. Like I said, I want to spend up at pitching. I mean, it gets expensive quick. The guys you want to play are Freeman, Mookie, and Ohtani, and you're talking a good chunk of change to play those guys. Tio is right there. Obviously, Will Smith, Tommy Edman. I mean, Max Muncy. I mean, they're fine, but, man, they're expensive. It'd be mini stacks only for me. And, yeah, I mean, Warren Tyler, you could see. I mean, I won't be surprised to see one of these guys or two of these guys to get a day off. I mean, who knows? They might have went out clubbing last night in Miami after they clinched their spot, and they might have been doing something else in those clubs than just popping champagne, I'll tell you that. But, yeah, it's a spot for me. Mini stacks only just due to salaries. I just can't get to them too much with spend-up pitching. And I hate the cheap pitching on the slate, especially Verlander. So that's going to do it. That's all 12 games, Ham. Man, you've been a little weak on these home run calls. And if the people don't know, there is a single stat contest. I didn't know anything about it, but DraftKings does offer a single stat home run contest where you can pick any pitcher or any players on the slate of the main slate of games to hit home runs. And you get 1 point, obviously, if they hit a home run, 1 point for each home run. I think this it's a pretty good. I mean, it's like a $1 3 max, and it's like $3K for first place or something. It's a winner take all contest, but it's a little fun, man. $3 into it to win a couple thousand. I've been dabbling a little bit with that. So these home run calls have I've been trying to hone in. My dad shipped the other night in the single. I think he had like $5 in play and shipped for like $2K or something just off a home run. So Ham. See if you can lead the people to the promised land. Get back on the home run train here. Who are you going for a home run call of the evening?
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to steal yours, I think. I'm going to go to our guy, Bobby Slams. Give me Bobby Witt to go yard tonight. I think he does it against Mason Black.
All right. Bobby Slams, he says, screw you. I'm going to your offense. But good thing I was prepared. I'm going to the same team, value guy, MJ Melendez. I love him on the Royals. And then I'm going to another value guy against the chalk, talks about this guy a ton. Nico Cavadas, 2.3K first base. I think he takes Verlander deep here tonight against the chalk Verlander, dusty old Verlander. I mean, you want to talk about a dusty old guy that's not going to get the job done? I don't think it's Verlander here tonight. I'm going to take some of these Angels. Really like that hedge stack quite a bit. But appreciate everyone watching. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. We'll be back next Friday on the show. I think our next MLB show is on Tuesday with Tito and the boys. But nonetheless, tune in right here on this channel Sunday morning to catch Hoop, Tambo, and Tito as they break down Week 3 NFL slate. Me and Hamwich will record the Sunday Night Football show again on Sunday morning. That'll be posted right as about main slate lock, so you can get in there, talk Sunday Night Football, build your lineups there. But again, appreciate everyone watching. Everybody have a great weekend. Good luck tonight. And for Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. We'll catch you guys next time.